A little man disguised as a baby, a stolen diamond, and unaware adoptive parents take more than what they can handle when they find Calvin, the little man at hand, right at their doorstep. Oh boy, it's about to get complicated. And that's why today in FlickSummary, Little Men. The flick opens with Calvin being released from prison as he gets picked up by his friend Percy, who wastes no time in proposing a robbery for the two to commit. What do they want to steal, you wonder? Oh, nothing, just a $100,000 diamond from a jewelry store from some mobster bad guy called Walken. No biggie.
Okay, no biggie.
On another hand, we meet Daryl and his wife Vanessa, who summoned in at a restaurant to share some exciting news she had for him. Upon hearing this, Daryl immediately assumed she was pregnant and was over the moon, even getting some guy to perform a tune for the couple. Although it's a little rushed, we can't deny that it's also kind of wholesome. Anyway, when Vanessa is about to spill the beans, Daryl is already bursting at the seams and shouting pregnant from the top of his lungs as the guy he hired begins singing.
And I'm pregnant, yes! Yes!
After quite a few moments of trying to get everyone to stop congratulating and celebrating her pregnancy, Vanessa clarifies that she is not pregnant at all, stating that she got a job promotion she was hoping for. Daryl attempts to hide his disappointment but doesn't do a very good job concealing it, focusing the conversation entirely on when will they start trying to have a baby and ruining Vanessa's excitement.
I'm the party pooper.
With this question, Vanessa feels pressured and undermined, saying that they will have a baby when it's the right time, in a couple of years. All the while, Daryl promises Vanessa he will get her a proper wedding diamond from their engagement he still owes her. Either way, following the brief dispute, the couple resumes their celebration. As this is happening, Calvin and Percy are figuring out ways to steal the diamond from the jewelry store and go unnoticed. They settle on sticking Calvin in a duffel bag while he walks around the store to steal the humongous piece of jewelry. Calvin manages to snatch the diamond but runs into a bit of a trouble when some lady's chihuahua breaks into the bag. Almost immediately the dog starts barking as its owner quickly steps in and accuses Percy of being a thief for stealing her dog. Instead of simply returning the chihuahua to her, he runs from the store, throwing the dog behind him.
Hey man, that's not cool.
Not even a minute has gone by before the store manager noticed that there was a humongous piece of jewelry missing. The cops are called and of course a chase ensues. In an attempt to blend in, Calvin and Percy enter a convenience store, the cops following not too far behind them. Can you guess who also happens to be at the convenience store? That's right, Daryl and Vanessa. In a quick act of panic, Calvin places the diamond in Vanessa's bag without her noticing, in order to not be carrying anything incriminating that might send him back to prison. Luckily for him, the cops don't spot them and they go on their way.
You're terrible. You're all terrible.
At this point, Calvin and Percy are now scheming ways to get back the diamond and make those 100k fast. Plus, we're guessing they would very much like to not piss off the mobster bad guy. As you may have expected, the only plan the pair can think of is to have Calvin pose as an abandoned baby at their doorstep, enter the home, get the diamond back, and make some money. Done. Easy as that. But this is a movie. Things never go as planned.
So it's not gonna be easy, it's gonna be really hard.
Back at home, the couple is living together with Vanessa's dad due to his old age and growing inability to stay home alone. Daryl isn't too big on his father-in-law staying with them and pleads with Vanessa to send him to a nursing home. Way to overstep boundaries, man. Vanessa says that until he is a danger to himself or others, he will continue to stay with them. The old man consistently teases and annoys Daryl, telling him that he probably can't even get her pregnant.
But I see now this man ain't got no bullets in the chamber. You heard me? You're shooting blanks. Cooking with a wet noodle.
Well, I guess the old man knows a thing or two about overstepping boundaries as well. While this is happening, Percy dresses Calvin as a baby and rings the couple's doorbell, leaving fake baby Calvin in a basket to fend for himself. Things get a little disgusting while he waits. Daryl opens the door to what he thinks is an abandoned baby, calling Vanessa to bring him inside due to the stench of pee. When the couple are about to change his diaper, they notice his private parts are a little too big to be a baby's, with the old man not so shyly saying,
That ain't no baby, that's a porn star.
"Good for Calvin, I guess." Upon hearing a grown man's cough coming from Calvin, Daryl and Vanessa decide to take him to the hospital to figure out what could be wrong with the poor baby. Of course, the doctor can't tell that it's an adult he's dealing with, even when he finds tattoos, a suspicious scar, and grown man teeth. Someone revoke his license, please! The doctor tells the couple that everything looks good and that they have nothing to worry about that. I wouldn't be too sure about that, but whatever you say, Doc. On the other hand, Percy is meeting with mobster Bad Guy, Walken, who gives him 24 hours to find the diamond, or he will get his butt kicked by his workers. Sounds like a good time. Either way, clock is ticking for Percy and Calvin. Back at home, Calvin meets his fake grandpa, who isn't too fond of his new grandson and even suspects that he might be hiding something. Way to go, Gramps! Following a brief discussion between the two, Daryl and Vanessa's friends visit them in order to meet baby Calvin, who doesn't behave too greatly when in the presence of other adults.
Yes, you do. No!
Ouch! The ladies decide to take the fake baby and change him out of his clothes. As it turns out, Calvin develops a bit of a crush on one of Vanessa's friends and acts a bit too much like a grown-up and creeps her out when he forcibly kisses her. Bad Calvin, you don't do that!
We don't do that here.
After their friends leave, they pamper and spoil Calvin, setting him in his crib so he can have a blissful sleep. However, he doesn't plan on sleeping anytime soon, as he needs to retrieve the diamond from Vanessa's purse as soon as possible. But while he waits for the couple to fall asleep, he struggles staying awake in his comfy new crib. As expected, he accidentally falls asleep but thankfully wakes up in the early hours of the morning to get back on track with the mission and call Percy to pick him up. Just as he is about to get Percy to rescue him, the old man wakes up from his slumber and catches him talking on the phone, proving that he was right about his suspicions. Before he can act on it, Daryl also wakes up and is shocked when he finds that Grandpa was about ready to kill poor baby Calvin. Daryl gets Calvin away from the old man and takes him to the kitchen, so they can sip on some delicious warm milk and go back to sleep. There, Daryl gets a bit emotional with Calvin and quickly becomes quite fatherly with the fella, who in turn feels the cherished love he never got to feel from a protective parent. As soon as Calvin and his father figure return to bed, Daryl and Vanessa decide to get a little frisky, even though our girl gets a little uncomfortable when she finds Calvin is knowingly staring. They get it on it anyways. The next morning, Vanessa wakes up looking fresh and satisfied, stating that it had been a while since they've been able to do it twice in one night. Daryl is noticeably confused, even more so when Calvin is also on the bed, but rolls with it either way. Honestly, either this man is blind or he really doesn't want to see what's right in front of him. They get ready for breakfast and Vanessa cooks bacon, pancakes, and a sausage for her father. He excitedly sits down to eat them, but whenever he's not looking, Calvin steals food away from his plate, eventually causing the poor old man to have nothing on his plate. Grandpa accuses Calvin of stealing his food, but Vanessa is not having it, blaming his insane accusations on his old age. Vanessa heads to work and asks Daryl to take care of the kid while she is gone. Luckily for Calvin, when Daryl was distracted, he managed to get a hold of Vanessa's purse and get the diamond back. Score! In hopes to spend some quality time with his fake son, Daryl takes Calvin to the park with his friends, where he constantly tantalizes and hits his poor fake father right where it really hurts. Daryl and his pals head to get ice cream while the moms take watch of the kids. There, Calvin runs into Percy to give him the diamond, but their encounter is interrupted when one of the moms spots them and accuses Percy of being a creep, telling him to stay away from the kids.
Hey, get away from him! Girls, let's get out!
I'm out.
Just as they leave the park, Daryl gives Calvin the car keys for him to play with, but he only steals the car. Innocently, Daryl believes his son has been kidnapped and his car has been stolen. He hitches a ride with a woman who shouldn't be allowed to drive, while some cops start chasing the car and catches up to him, slashing the car's tires in the process. Calvin returns to the baby persona as the policemen buy into his act and immediately get him to safety, returning him to Daryl. His fake father then gets a little emotional and protective, telling his baby that he doesn't want anything bad to happen to him. Once again, Calvin starts getting a little emotional. On another hand, while at a hockey match, Calvin puts the diamond in his mouth to conceal it. However, Daryl catches him and asks the boy what he has in his mouth, to which Calvin only shakes his head no as he proceeds to swallow the gargantuan diamond.
Hey, what you got in your mouth there, little fella? What you got in your mouth? Open up.
Finally back home, Daryl and Vanessa want to throw a birthday party for Calvin, even though they don't even know his real birth date, in order to make him feel like he's really part of the family. I'd be a little emotional if I hadn't known how ill-behaved Calvin is. Oh, by the way, you haven't forgotten about Grandpa, right? Well, while at dinner, the old man was watching the news when he saw the prime suspect of a major jewelry theft. Yup, Calvin is in big trouble now. At the birthday party, the guests engage in a bit of a more violent than anticipated game of football, where Calvin truly shines as a team player. They finally sing happy birthday to the adoptive son, who gets emotional yet again, given how he's being treated as a part of the family. As if on cue, Grandpa gets home and bearing a teddy bear as a present for little Calvin. But there's a catch. You see, although the old man may be a little old, he's certainly not dumb. And he included a little secret camera into the bear. Quite a strategy, man, we won't lie. Not long after, Percy shows up at the family's door, claiming to be Calvin's dad. Daryl doesn't take too kindly to this and, well, he does the next logical thing. Beat him up. Mr. Mobster henchmen see this and speculate that Daryl may know about the diamond and Percy is just scamming them. Quite a pickle for Percy, huh?
And I guess we're in a pickle.
Later, Calvin decides to consume an entire bottle of laxative in order to get the diamond out of his system, literally. He finally gets it out and Vanessa has to change him, who quickly spots the diamond and assumes it's a present from Daryl. Poor guy's not even able to get a word in and Vanessa wants to go out and celebrate, thus leaving Calvin alone with Grandpa.
It's a trap.
The old man finally tells Calvin that the gig is up and that he knows about the diamond. They engage in a rather comical fight where Calvin confesses he just wants to get this done as soon as possible and not have anyone get hurt. After their celebratory dinner, the couple gets home and catches Grandpa choking Calvin. Vanessa is disgusted and calls a nursing home to take her dad away. However, right before he leaves, he tells the family to check the bear. Daryl listens to him for once and checks on the bear, seeing the footage of Calvin taking like an adult and admitting to the stolen diamond. Once they are finally aware of Calvin's real identity, they find that he has already left with Percy. While they're escaping, Percy tells Calvin that Mr. Mobster and his henchmen are already tracking the couple down and heading to their place. Upon hearing this, Calvin kicks Percy out of the car and tells him that he doesn't want anything to happen to his newfound family. Calvin returns to the house and fights against the bad guys to protect the couple until he eventually knocks them out.
Nighty night.
Daryl and Calvin manage to take down Mr. Mobster and get him and his henchmen sent to jail. The cops arrive at the scene and are convinced that Calvin is Daryl's son, who ultimately covers for him as a thank you. Oh, and since the family helped with recovering the diamond, they're now getting $100K as a reward. Cool! Once the policemen leave, Calvin has a bit of a hard time saying goodbye, but before he leaves, Daryl asks him to have a drink with him and ends up moving in with the family. Sometime later, Calvin and Grandpa are playing with the couple's real baby, who doesn't look too much like Daryl, if you ask me. Oh well. And that's all for today. Little Man in a nutshell. Let us know in the comments what you thought of this movie and which one should we do next. As always, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share it with your friends. See you next time!